Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring. I hate to admit it, but I have been totally stun-locked by the meme maker. Don't get me wrong, Tomodachi Life Living the Dream is amazing. Between the meme maker and the palette house, you can create just about anything that your heart desires in Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. People are making the most insane stuff in this game, using the tools that the game gives us. But for those of us who are artistically uninclined, it's almost overwhelming. Do you need to be an artist to play Tomodachi Life? Well, it sure does feel like it, doesn't it? I have a lot to say on the topic because I just have seen a lot of discussion online about it. And I have talked to quite a few friends who feel like they don't want to play Tomodachi Life Living the Dream because they don't feel like they're creating as amazing of things as they see online. And honestly, sometimes I will have an idea for me and I'll be like, too much effort, I don't know. What is that pressure that some of us are feeling to make things so incredibly accurate in Tomodachi Life Living the Dream? Why do I feel like I need to be an artist to be taking advantage of this game's full potential? But before we get into the nitty-gritty of that discussion, I do want to say, you don't have to be a web designer to have a website. It is the mission of today's sponsor, Squarespace, to simplify the process of creating your very own website. If you're a small business owner, having a website makes you look super legit. Squarespace just has so many different templates to fit any type of business, and they offer so many great tools to help you manage your business. It's awesome. It's an all-in-one platform. They have a lot of very specific templates to choose from, so artists and creators can find something, restaurants, online retailers, weddings, stuff. There is just something for everybody on there. And if you want your own custom template, you can use Squarespace Blueprint to decide on all of your pages and all of your fonts and your colors, and it will generate a perfect website tailored just for you. Schedule appointments, send invoices directly through your Squarespace site, sell products with many of the popular payment methods, set up newsletters, provide memberships, and so much more. If you are interested in upping your web presence, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. Pick out your template, customize your website, and then when you are ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/listthelass or use my code listthelass and you will get 10% off of your very first purchase of a website or domain. In terms of customization, Living the Dream blows Tomodachi Life DS out of the water. The old MIIS style in general, I'm sure everybody remembers from like the Wii days. You had to get really creative, and you kind of did just have to accept that if you were recreating somebody in Mii form, it wasn't gonna be 100% accurate. The Miis from that era were just busted. Moving into the newer era, we have Miitopia, which I have never personally played. I own it, and I never got around to playing it, even though I really wanted to. From what I can see online about that meme maker, it's very advanced. Very similar to Living the Dream. And now that we're in the Living the Dream era, it's just getting out of control. You can create a photorealistic version of someone. And while I think that that's amazing, it has caused me to spend so much of my playtime in that damn meme maker. Back in my day, we used to be able to download memes from the internet. I say back in my day, but I honestly only played Tomodachi Life DS after you guys put me on, and I think that was like 3 years ago. So I missed the initial Tomodachi Life era. When I first started playing Tomodachi Life DS, I was really surprised that you could just go online and download memes via QR code. One Google search is all it took, and I could download a more accurate Peter Griffin than I could have created, a Bellsprout, a Walter White. There was so much available to me. It used to be so easy. It felt like a whole new version of the game was unlocked for me because, at that point, I kind of felt a little bit tired of having to think of me's that I wanted to create and then actually go and make them. And that was when we were on like Meme Maker dummy mode. So when they announced that Living the Dream was going to have limited online sharing capacities, aka none, I was actually very disappointed. Unfortunately, gone are the days of seeing a me that you like online, whipping out that camera, scanning that QR code, and poof, a me is made in your game. And I know I sound really lazy. Do I even want to play Tomodachi Life Living the Dream? Yes, I do. I think the reason why it's such a letdown for me is because people are creating some really amazing stuff in Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. I want to have their me's and their creations in my game, but I can't do that without spending hours and hours of my life recreating things pixel by pixel. I do know that plenty of people have figured out a back-end way to share MIIS. It's through a Miitopia or something. I don't know. I haven't done it myself yet. As I said, it's kind of one of those games that is just collecting dust on my shelf. So personally, I'm not really sure how all of that even works. There is also like local sharing. I don't even know why we waste our time adding something like that. The point that I'm making is that it used to be so much easier with the QR code system, and I am disappointed that that is not in Living the Dream. So now I have to spend hours and hours and hours of my time drawing Elle from Death Note's wispy little bangs and eye bags, instead of just scanning a QR code because I want my Elle to look like the one on my pewter screen. I spent like an hour painting his hair only for his side profile to look like this. I hate it here. I did also spend a lot of time making the Death Note, but it was worth it for this interaction alone. I love that I sat there and put so much effort into making my little anime boys pretty with their perfect little hair, even if it only looks good from one specific angle. But man, I wish I could have just downloaded them. I do wonder, is the lack of any sort of online sharing capabilities at the expense of total freedom? No censorship? All the righties online should love that, by the way. But no, instead we get thumbnails like this because pronouns. You'll pry my Tomodachi Life out of my cold, dead hands, conservatives. Yeah, I haven't yet encountered any form of censorship in my game. Granted, the things that I'm making my MIIS say are unholy, but they're not like that bad. I can't recall if there was any censorship in Tomodachi Life DS, but as far as I can tell, in Living the Dream, we have no guardrails. You can make your MIIS say whatever the hell you want. I want to say that they had some good foresight to do this. If you have to take away online in order to give us a full and complete freedom, you know what? I will take it. Somebody at Nintendo saw the Charlie Kirk MIIS from a mile away, okay? And I think they made a good decision. It does feel a little stifling. It might be a bit of an overcorrection. I think that the removal of smartphone screenshot and screen capture transfer is a little bit much. But I guess, you know, we do have to protect those kids from all of the unholy activities that are taking place on most of your islands in Living the Dream. I just think we went a little too far. I'm sorry. We have design code sharing in Animal Crossing New Horizons. What if we just did that, but then, you know, took away the search function? I do think it's a little different. You know, I don't really see people making a Saddam Hussein hiding spot in New Horizons. So now we're all having to make our own MIIS from scratch. There are some really great fan-made tools out there to help with your designs. Tomodachi Share for finding me inspo. Some of the people that are uploading on there are also adding detailed instructions, so that's great. Living the Grid is a great tool if you want to be perfectly precise with your designs. There is a learning curve for the unartistic people like me, but you can make some really photorealistic stuff. There's tons of tips and tricks online for how to use stickers and how to make your face paints blend better. If you want to have detailed MIIS, you're just gonna have to put in that work. And you're probably gonna need one of these guys. All of these Amazon sellers are probably rolling in the dough right now. Even with all of these amazing tools, playing in handheld with the stylus, all of the Living the Grid, Tomodachi Share, I still struggle quite a bit getting my designs to look as good as the things that I'm seeing online. I was very much struggling with red Pikmin. Oh my god. The face paint, it sits on top, and so it looked so fucking weird how I was trying to do it. I hated it. So you know what? I decided with red Pikmin, because I couldn't make that little leaf shaft, we're just gonna go back to basics. We're gonna keep it simple. Like, why am I sitting here for hours and hours and hours trying to recreate things that I've seen online when, like, it doesn't matter? I'm stressing myself out over nothing. Plus, in case you didn't know, some of those amazing creations that you were seeing online, they're hacks. Yeah, there is a way to import PNGs into this game. It requires nefarious means that I cannot discuss any further. But in case you were sitting there and feeling bad about yourself because your Germa doesn't look exactly like that, I think it's better that you're aware that some of these people are hackers and modders. Now, I don't know for sure who is modding and who isn't, because it is entirely possible to make things that are very, very close to an imported PNG me in the maker, the painter. So I'm not trying to start a witch hunt or anything, okay? Because I don't know for sure. When I'm scrolling through Twitter and I'm seeing people's amazing, beautiful creations, I can't tell if it's a PNG import or if they did it themselves. Sometimes though, sometimes it has a certain stink to it. I'm just saying that if a design is too good to be true, it probably isn't true. It is such a small number of people that are actually doing that though. A lot of people are really sitting there and painting pixel perfect, myself included. I have given it a shot. I personally think it would have just been nice to have a way to import PNGs ourselves. See, that would have been a really cool feature and would have solved a lot of this, most of my gameplay is making paintings issue. I'm spending so much damn time in that me maker and that palette house that I haven't even really begun to dive into my relationships. I don't even have anybody that's getting married. I almost did, and then I failed at the minigame, but that was totally my fault. I was not paying attention. What is the actual point of sitting here and recreating a pack of cigarettes pixel by pixel? Because I saw somebody online made me burros and I thought that was funny? Why can't I just like sit there and make a simple box design, add a little bit of color and some text on top? This mindset has caused me to play less Tomodachi Life because in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to make anything unless it's like so perfect. I realized that I need to let that go and I need to be free. The simple me aesthetic is great. What happened to being totally okay with your me's not being 100% accurate and letting go of that internal pressure of having perfect designs like I see online? Because let's be honest, it's self-imposed. That is true freedom. Sure, my creations in Living the Dream aren't going to resemble that of what an artist would make, but holy fuck, I am not going to subject myself to the living the grid bullshit anymore. I don't want to sit there in the palette house for hours and hours and hours recreating the DVD box cover for Happy Feet because I thought it would be funny to give that to my penguin me. Simply downloading a Chapel Roan would have been like so quick and easy, but having to create her myself and cross-reference with photos of her and photos of other people's me creations of her was pretty fun. I am rejecting the notion that my me's need to look exactly like their reference photos because guess what? They're me's. I'm definitely not saying that creating super detailed me's and all of these incredibly elaborate artistic creations is a waste of time or anything. In fact, through all of this effort, I feel like my own personal art skills have been improving. It's like, guys, I'm kind of getting better. I've been really trying with the painting tools, and I'm actually like kind of learning shit. I've never really been much of an artist. It has never been an interest for me. I think I had like one learn how to draw anime characters book when I was a kid. But like one thing about me is if I am not good at something the first time I try it, never doing that again. I do think that being a tryhard and making incredible stuff does have its place. Earlier today, I spent like 45 minutes hand painting all of the sweaty little hairs on Austin Butler Elvis's forehead. Making incredible stuff has its place. I just don't feel like I need to spend a majority of my playtime doing it. And it's part of the experience. You know, Tomodachi Life isn't a race, it's a marathon. It is a daily check-in type of game. It's meant to be played for like an hour or so at a time every couple days, maybe once a week. I'm not gonna spend a majority of that time burning myself out trying to make the most incredible designs when making a pretty normal looking me is fine. My L from Death Note does not need to have a fuck ton of face paint for you to know that that's L from Death Note. I did keep L's hair because, you know, I spent so much damn time on it, but I just need to learn to choose my battles. Not everything needs to be as perfect a recreation as my Me Burrows and Happy Feet 2006. All I'm saying is that maybe if you've been feeling the same pressure that I feel to make these really amazing and detailed me's and it's maybe causing you to pick up the game less because you're like, well, I don't know, I don't really want to like spend all of this time drawing. Why don't you just not? Some people are gonna play the game like that. You don't have to. That's the beauty of Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. You could make the most busted looking me's known to man and you are playing the game as intended.